part 2. Okay, here we go to part 2 of FlexPay reverse and refinance reverse before it's too late. Here we go. Praise the Lord, everybody. Anthony Miles, your Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. We are back. 1-800-952-PRAY. That's 1-800-952-7729 is the number to call on. You will not be on the air. You won't be spreading your business. Don't worry about that. You'll call me off the air. You hear us every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Next week we'll be on for a full hour discussing the do's and the don'ts of the federally insured reverse mortgage. Every Wednesday, WL 1450 and 95.9 Magic, simultaneously at 10 o'clock every Wednesday. 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. All right, so the first half we were talking about before it's too late. That's the topic for today, before it's too late. And I'm referring to the new guy coming in the White House. A lot of us are not thrilled about. A lot of us don't know anything about. A lot of us are worried. A lot of us are scared. I'm not here to scare you, but I'm here to tell you that if you've been sitting on the brakes on the reverse mortgage, whether it's your first time doing it, or if you've already got one and you've been sitting on the brakes and not refinancing it, now's the time to step on that gas before it could be too late. Because we don't know what's going to happen. I'm not here to scare you again, but I'm here to get you thinking and looking into it. Because if things change negatively, you're going to be kicking yourself for saying, why didn't I listen to him? You know, I was afraid of what was coming down the chute, and I didn't know the rules were going to change, but he told me to watch out, and I didn't do it. I don't want you to be in that position. There's no harm in fully investigating the reverse mortgage now, but investigating it accurately, being properly informed. With me, even though I'm a licensed loan officer, and yes, to survive, I need business, okay? But I need the Lord first of all, so he's the one that's going to provide. But he's going to provide with the field that I do, which is reverse mortgages. So that's what I'm here to do, but I'm not here to solicit you to actually do it. I'm here to solicit you to be informed about it. So if you've hesitated ever calling me, call me. Because I will come over to your home. I'm in the DMV, okay? I'm also licensed in California. I'm also licensed in Pennsylvania. I'm licensed in Florida. But call me, and I will come out to your house. Yes, if you're in California, I will come out to your house. And I will fully explain this to you, and I'll sit down with you without any obligation. I'm not here to force you to do it. I'm here to make sure you are informed properly, because so many of you out there were never fully informed about what the reverse mortgage was. A lot of you, that first half of the show, did not know you could make payments on your reverse mortgage. Making payments is the best thing you could do because it will bring your balance down. And every payment you make, you do not lose that money that you put into it. You have it there still sitting. Not only is it applied to your balance, it's also sitting there in this savings set-aside line of credit account for you. So the bank takes that same payment you made and puts it over here for that rainy day. So if you make a payment every month that money is being applied to your balance, and it's also being put in the rainy day savings account for you to take back out whenever you need it. You can't get that guaranteed money anywhere. That's the number one blessing of the reverse, is that making a payment doesn't harm you, because you can turn around the next day and take it right back out if you need it, if you made a wrong decision, if that emergency comes up. It's there, it's readily available, and it's been collecting interest in your favor for as long as it's sitting in that savings account. If you have a reverse mortgage, okay, now is the time to take your foot off the brakes and step on the gas pedal. Because if you have not taken advantage of, even though interest rates are starting to climb, but in the reverse field, when they climb, the floor starts out lower. So you're not going to the ceiling right away. Interest rates could be higher, but your reverse interest rate could be starting out over a full percentage lower than the field, okay? And a lot lower than what you're currently at. If you have a fixed rate at 5.06, wouldn't it be nice to cut that interest rate in half? What would be the benefit of doing that if you're not making a payment? If you're not making a payment, the benefit of doing that would be that you would be insuring by cutting that interest rate that you would be preserving more equity in there. You would be slowing the growth down of that balance. If you've ever taken out your statement and just had the sour taste in your mouth about the reverse because your balance is going through the roof and you hate it, you weren't told properly about it, you got put in this interest rate and it's just climbing out of control. You have the ability to step in and go right to the bank and put the hands in the face. Hands in the face and say, stop. Stop it. I'm going to cut this interest down. I know you're going to collect interest because that's the deal we signed, but I'm going to cut that growth down to give you less, which will guarantee more for me if I want to sell the house or more for whoever I want to leave that home to. You have the ability to do so. Unfortunately, many of you do not take this opportunity because you're afraid to, because you were never told from the get-go that you could refinance your reverse mortgage. So now you're too afraid. You don't want to take that chance because your loan officer, when they sat down with you, didn't say, hey, excuse me, didn't say, hey, there's a chance 18 months from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, that we can come back in and lower this interest growth. There's a chance that your balance is going to go up. And your balance is going to go up, but your home value is going to go up greater proportion, especially if you live in D.C. And that's going to make it possible for you to tap back in and lower that interest rate and slow that growth down. It's also going to make it possible for you to cash in, reserve some of that equity that increased when your home went up in value. And if you do not do so, you will be doing yourself an extreme disservice. You will be throwing away your hard-earned equity that you wanted to leave to your children, that you wanted for you, that you didn't want the bank to acquire. You will be hand delivering it to them. If somebody would have came to you and sat down with you when you did your reverse the first time and fully explained that, you would not be afraid because you'd be expecting those phone calls. But because you were not told this, you're freaked out, and rightfully so. But you know what? Don't listen to what I'm telling you. Call the FHA. Call the FHA. Call HUD. Call them right up and say, hey, this crazy guy on the radio is telling me I might have it possible for me to refinance my reverse and cut my interest rate. I might have it possible to do all the above and also reserve some of my equity, not the bank's, but my equity, or take it out if I need so now for repairs or for whatever. I want to go on vacation or whatever. I have that a right to do so. Is that correct? You're going to find out it's absolutely 100% correct. Your bank doesn't want you to know that because they don't want to lose your business. What's the harm in refinancing? Well, here's the thing with me, and I'm still going to say this, even though we're getting paid half of what we got paid as a loan officer before the election. We're getting paid half now. I can still do it. If you live in D.C., I can still refinance your reverse mortgage with zero closing costs, okay? If you don't live in D.C., if you're around the DMV area, the Maryland, Virginia side, I'll have to look into it. The higher your loan balance is, the more I can knock down. But it used to be to where it was absolutely zero. But I will look into it. And for a lot of you, it's still going to be zero. I'm still going to hold true to that. Even if I'm only making $500, I'll do it because that's what I promised. But a lot of you don't know that these closing costs can be cut out. A lot of you say, I don't want to refinance my reverse again because I got charged $18,000 to $25,000 the first time I did it. And that's $18,000 to $25,000 that I didn't have to pay but came out of my equity. So eventually I did have to pay it because it's been getting hit with interest constantly. Don't let that stop you. There's ways to get those closing costs drastically down, if not all the way down to zero. But you need to know what to ask for. You need to know what you're entitled to, and that's what this show is about. So take advantage of the refinance when it comes up. If you've been holding out, don't hold out anymore, because with the new election, with the new results, we are very fearful of what's going to happen. We don't know for sure. We could be dead wrong, and I hope I am. I hope everything's going to go great. But we're scared. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? And if it turns out negatively, it would be very detrimental for many of you who wanted to refinance your reverse that now cannot do so due to possible rules that could change that would not be to your advantage. Don't be one of those, I'll wait till after the holidays. I'll wait till the middle of the year. I'm not ready yet. There's no harm in you refinancing your reverse mortgage if you're lowering your interest rate. There's no harm in you refinancing your reverse mortgage if it's done at zero cost. If there's no hidden back-end fees also, if all of those fees, all those settlement charges are being credited, or almost all of them are. Let's look and see what can be done for you. Doesn't mean you got to go through me. All it means is I want you to be properly educated, because I don't want you to get the short end of the stick and not find out from the correct person, and somebody take advantage of your lack of knowledge and beat you over the head with it basically, and take it to the bank and collect a lot of profit off you at your expense. You've got to refinance your reverse mortgage if you do have more equity in there. If it has definitely opened up, by you not at least reserving it and acknowledging that it is there, you will be selling yourself short. That is money that's going to be handed over to the bank instead. And we talked about this before. Because you don't physically see that money in your account now, because you don't physically see that $30,000, that $20,000, that $18,000 sitting there and depleting, you are not aware that that is happening. You're not aware that the bank is just scarfing it down, your hard-earned equity. Don't be a doubting Thomas. Don't be a doubting Thomas, because I'll tell you what, it's going to come to where it's going to be zero and there's going to be nothing for you to see. Look into it now. It doesn't hurt you for me to look into it, because I can be honest with you. I can come over to your home and explain it to you. And if you don't want to do it, if you're like, forget it, I understand it all. I know the bank's going to take my equity and there's nothing I can do about it unless I decide to do something about it. But if I decide not to after knowing, at least I've explained it to you. 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. Like my Facebook page, The Christian Reverse Mortgage Answer Man. You're going to see brand new videos coming out there that are going to explain more things about these costs, about the seminars. Write down my number, 1-800-952-PRAY, 1-800-952-7729. Give it to a loved one. To God be the glory. Go out and make it a good one in His name. Give Him the glory. Let people see Jesus and reflect Him through you in your eyes. God bless everybody. Amen.